Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie and I am so happy to have you here. So I am sure you saw by the title, but today we're just going to be talking about the Undergrowth palette from Cosmic Beauty or Cosmic Brushes. I know they're in process of changing their name. Let's just go ahead, pop this sucker open. So this is what the palette looks like. So this is my first ever purchase from Cosmic Brushes. I have just been wanting to try something from Cosmic Brushes for really such a long time, and I just never bit the bullet. I think the last palette that I really wanted to buy was that Wonderland one, which I still might pick up this year around Black Friday if that is like a deal or something. So I definitely wanted to just pick up their next release. So I did pick this one up. It is kind of this super grungy green kind of look. What I'm starting to do now with my reviews is we will have 3 looks and or tutorials that will have been posted previous to this, so definitely check out my shorts tab. I'm going to try to kind of have it plain here as well if you are curious. The main reason why I kind of want to do that is I feel like, for one, it gives me an actual chance to play with the product, and then I can give you like my honest thoughts, things that I like, things that I don't like. So first things first, the formula of this is really, really good. Never playing with the brand before. I kind of had no idea. I kind of did know, had a feeling it was going to be good of all the other content creators that I do follow that talk about what a good formula it is. It definitely has a lot of mixture of formulas, especially with the shimmers. The only one that I would say is the really nice that I've heard a lot of people talk about is the shade Undergrowth. It really reminds me a lot of Danessa Myricks shimmers. Just this very smooth. I hope you can see that. I do have this shade pretty much all over my eyelid, but this is what it looks like swatched. I do believe this is a duochrome, but I do really appreciate that the flip sticks within this kind of greenish range. I know sometimes the flip will be like a purple or something, and I just, if you do not know, I don't tend to like that. I think duochromes are interesting, or multi-chromes, but I don't feel like they always work with every look. That is the one that feels like the creamiest. The other shimmers are also super good. I'm not going to say that they're not, and I'm going to try to have maybe a little swatch video here. All the shimmers are very sparkly, so I'm not going to say that none of them are not sparkly. They all really are. The only one that I think that I just don't know if I'll wear much, and it's called Cordyceps. I don't even know how to say this. One thing I will also, preface to say is I don't tend to like metallics very often, so it's kind of just a personal preference. As in terms of a metallic, though, it is really nice. You can tell it has a shine. Is it as shiny as this? No. But it's definitely, I wouldn't say it's a subtle, I don't know, it's not like a subtle shimmer, but it's more on that line, I guess you would say. And then also, I've never been a big fan of bronzy gold colors, even though this is a really pretty color. These are all things that are just complete personal preferences, but like I said, the most fancy shade in the palette, in my opinion, is Undergrowth. My only other thought that I did want to kind of throw in here is I do wish that there was more variety with this shimmer. I did swatch all of them out on my hand because I just wanted to be am I just losing it or whatever? I feel like a lot of these shimmers just feel really similar to me, and then also just let you know I am colorblind, a little bit, so certain shades will look really similar to me. I just feel like a lot of these shades are golden greens undertone, and I just wish, especially because there is a good variety with the mattes, I just wish that maybe either we could have had some brighter greens. And then another thought, again, I absolutely love this palette, and I do think that they're probably trying to keep within one thing that, that thing that they do of having this as a palette, but I do know they did release that Gothic palette last year, which is a 12-pan palette. Part of me wonders if maybe this could have been that. It definitely has a lot of shades. In my personal opinion and or preference, I don't know if I necessarily feel like this bottom row was needed. Now granted, it does help to make it not just a green palette. As a personal preference, I don't mind just a monochrome palette. So that would just be, like I said, something for me that I feel could have been a bit different. I know one thing that I basically just more felt with this palette is for greens, there's definitely a lot of variety, but I've noticed with their other palettes, they tend to have different colors. And so what I'm more kind of realizing with this palette is, though I absolutely love it, and I think this is a really well done palette for the greens, I don't feel like it's my perfect palette from the brand. I definitely am going to be intrigued to see what they come out with next. Like I said, I might be picking up, I do believe it is called Wonderland. I have wanted that palette for so long, and I really think I could make some really pretty looks with that. But I will definitely be keeping an eye out to see what they come out with in the future. I really hope that they continue, or they obviously will, wish for myself is I'm hoping that they have a bit more variation, as I do feel like a lot of the other palettes have had, and I feel like this palette does have. I think it just, I don't know, I just feel like they feel similar. I feel like they feel along the lines of this bright green, which I love. I have that like all around the inside part of my eye, but I feel like I just want a combo more. I would have loved if they also added maybe even some teals, some really rich dark teals or something in this. That would have just been able to make it shift a bit more. And then also, because the time period that this has been released, I'm assuming this is meant to be their Halloween / fall palette. I, again, kind of going with that. I feel like with those teals, maybe even some purples or something, could have been a bit more of like a spooky kind of theme. Now, granted, again, you can tell by the theming, I feel that this is not meant to be like a Halloween palette. All in all, though, I think this is a really pretty palette. If these colors speak to you, I think it is completely worth it. I'm blanking on the price right now. I will have it, linked down below. The quality is really great, so I would definitely say if these colors speak to you, quality is great, formula is great, definitely I recommend this. That is going to go ahead and be it for me today. Make sure to like, comment. I would love it if you would subscribe if you want to see more content like this from me. I hope you are having a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you on my next one. Okay, bye!